Self-paced learning allows assessment in real time. So this is going to give everybody the opportunity to answer questions and for me, in this instance, as the teacher, to see how they're answering as it happens. What does this mean? Well, this means that I can adapt my teaching and learning. If I see that somebody's doing something wrong, then I can intervene and help them. And this is going to be crucial in any classroom situation, because it then leads to differentiation. I can actually see which individuals need support, or I can see which individuals need challenging, and I can take them on further. Now, talking about this is all very well and good, but like all of the active classroom, the best way to communicate this is to show it and actually engage your audience in a self-paced session. So that's exactly what we're going to do now, and have a look at how the results come in and how that you can interact with the audience and the result. When you're demonstrating LRS, it probably isn't necessary to go through what all the buttons do on the device before you get everybody started. So like we've just done, we got straight into it. And I think that that's a really good thing to do, because it makes everybody see how easy it is. However, when you're using self-paced, there is probably some value in showing the user what the devices actually do and what the buttons are. And the reason for that is the user is actually going to be responsible for reading the question on the device and answering from there. So you don't want to give them a device that they're not sure what to do and that affects the way that they answer. So take a few moments just to use a page like this to go through what the different buttons do. Point out the hotkeys. Point out that this hotkey will be the toggle between question and answer. Now that's quite important. People will want to go backwards and forwards between the question and the answer. They've got all the symbols they need on the edges, and obviously they've got the letters and the ability to scroll up and down. And you can use this as your opportunity to say that we have got a full screen here that will show the complete text entry, and they can move between the words. And of course the send button. Once they've made their answer, they've given their answer, they're going to want to send it. And I like this one here, the backspace undo. People will make mistakes, so that's fine. They can undo what they've done and they can have another go. So once you've established all of that, as I said, the best thing is to actually let them participate. So we're actually going to do a simple mental maths warm-up here. And in a moment, once you've turned your devices on, and it is important that you encourage your audience to turn them on before you start, so there's no time delay for them, because remember, this is real-time data. Turn your devices on and you're going to find a series of maths questions. And we're going to have a go and see how you get on. And as you're working through, you'll see that there are actually answers coming up in front of you on the board. And I'll be keeping my eye on that as the teacher. So I know that I've got self-paced on this page because my green arrow is lit and indicating that something's about to happen. And as soon as I press that, all my devices appear and I can see which students have already started. So as everybody starts to work and work through the answers, remember you've got that toggle button between question and answer screen, and you will need to go to the answer screen before you actually answer. So we're working in different levels here, and there are up to 9 levels in our self-paced mode. And I can see straight away that I've got 2 individuals here, devices number 7 and number 8, who are forging forward, and they've already made the next level. You'll also see that it's brought to my attention whenever anybody's got something wrong. Now the students are actually quite busy at this point. They're all working, so they're probably not going to be concentrating on this. However, teachers may ask you, what if they see it, they don't want this to be in front of everyone? Remember, you can freeze the projector on the last screen, and so this information will only be coming up on the computer. So the teacher can keep an eye on the computer, but the rest of the class aren't seeing this information. If they think that's more appropriate or they're more comfortable with that, that is possible. So along we go. Nobody's quite made the 3rd level yet. Somebody just has. And just like, as I've said previously, the control is with the teacher. So it's wise at some point during your self-paced quiz or test to actually pause and regain that control. Because quite honestly, unless you do that, your audience, your students are actually just going to carry on and they're going to be looking at what they're doing, where in fact you want to be telling them all this good stuff. So it's worth repeating here. Showing them what's happened We've got individuals working through at their own pace. Differentiated learning. These two individuals here, obviously more able at mental arithmetic or mental maths, and so they're working very quickly. This person here, perhaps working a little bit too quickly here, so got one wrong, move on. And I can see quickly who I need to go and support. Is there one individual that's not making progress that I can go and help? Is there one individual that is making lots of progress and perhaps needs to be challenged? But I can go a little bit further than that, and this is the beauty of using active expression with an active board. Now remember, it is interactive whiteboard independent, but by using with an active board, I can take full benefit of the fact that I can hover on an active board, and I can hover over these questions. So not only can I find out that this individual got this one wrong, but I'm able to tell what the question was, what the answer should have been, and how they answered. So show that. And also the time in which they took to answer. That sometimes is very relevant in a classroom, and teachers will acknowledge that as soon as you say it. Sometimes you've got individuals who are answering far too quickly and getting things wrong. So I can find out all that information just by hovering over this page. I haven't got to go elsewhere. I haven't got to analyse the results in a different database or put it into Excel. It's all here on the page. Now, of course, there is some merit in actually seeing what the whole class has done. So I'm just going to pick a particular question. Let's take this one, for example, number 2. A couple of people got that one wrong. So if I click on it and I go up here, it tells me what the question was. Multiply 91 by 2. And when I click on the graph, it shows me how the whole class did. So I can have a look and say, these are probably miscalculations because they're very close to the actual answer. This one here, typo perhaps, or misread the question, and I can actually go down a little bit further, if appropriate, in front of the class, not always, and I can find out who answered what, and I can actually ask them a bit further, or I can do it after the lesson, whenever is more appropriate. So I've got all that information at my fingertips, and of course I can carry on with the test. But again, remember, time is against you when you're demonstrating. You haven't got a lot of time, you've got their attention for a very short period, so it's probably best to leave it at that. But you can go on and say that, of course, before you close the results, it does give you the opportunity to save them, so you can go back to them at a later time if necessary.